I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before. Sure. So she was, everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no thing as karma, okay? Get over that.
Political debates have become battlegrounds where logic and reason often clash with unwavering ideologies. Recently, Bill Maher took center stage, engaging Whoopi Goldberg with his trademark wit and direct approach. This wasn't just another celebrity exchange, it was a powerful reminder of how certain narratives struggle under close scrutiny.
Understand that part of our sorry racial history in this country is that the point of view from a black person is often going to be very different and sometimes shocking.
Bill Maher has built his reputation by challenging both sides of the political spectrum. But his recent exchange with Whoopi Goldberg took things to another level. As Whoopi defended her stance with the familiar progressive rhetoric often heard on The View, Maher countered with hard facts, exposing contradictions that left her on the defensive. The debate highlighted just how disconnected elite liberal viewpoints have become from real life.
I watch your show all the time, so I know that you're a comic, but you basically go after Trump and Biden. You know, both of them, and a lot of people are not happy with you about that.
Not equally.
Well, not equally, because you know that Trump is more dangerous.
Of course. I mean, I don't think anybody was more out front on that danger than I was.
In the debate, understanding the key figures is essential. Whoopi Goldberg, a staunch advocate of liberal policies, often dismisses criticism of the left as mere right-wing propaganda. Meanwhile, Bill Maher isn't a conservative, but a traditional liberal who resists rigid ideological labels. This contrast set the stage for a compelling and thought-provoking exchange.
I was talking about how he was never going to give up power long ago when everybody was laughing at me and said, you smoke too much pot. And I said, I smoke just the right amount of pot. Because plainly, I was using the term slow-moving coup before he was elected the first time.
That's right.
I said, this guy is never going to concede power. It's impossible to imagine him going, oh, I lost.
Whoopi Goldberg dismissed concerns about crime, the economy, and the struggles of working-class Americans. Bill Maher swiftly pushed back, emphasizing that issues like inflation and public safety affect everyday people far more than symbolic activism. Instead of directly addressing his arguments, Whoopi deflected with a vague response that sidestepped the core issues. When pressed, she relied on outdated economic talking points that felt increasingly disconnected from the realities people face today.
Anything against Biden, because I feel, not that I have so much power, and you have some more than I do, obviously, but
I don't know about that.
Are you afraid that you might, influence people who are on the fence?
I think you lose all credibility.
Maher never lets a weak argument slide, and he seized on a key contradiction in Whoopi's stance. He pointed out that progressive elites, particularly white liberals, often claim to advocate for marginalized communities while overlooking the issues that matter most to them. Polls consistently show that Black and Hispanic voters prioritize economic stability and crime over the ideological debates dominating social media. Whoopi's reluctance to acknowledge this disconnect only further exposed the flaws in her argument.
My bond with my audience has always been I don't pull a punch.
Yeah.
My bond with my audience is you're not going to like everything I say, but I'm saying what I really think is true.
Right.
That's yeah. Okay. And look, Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
Maher steered the conversation toward political hypocrisy, highlighting the controversies surrounding Hunter Biden. He pointed out how Democrats who often preach accountability tend to remain silent when scandals involve their own. Whoopi, visibly uncomfortable, attempted to downplay Biden's actions, insisting they were being exaggerated. But Maher wasn't about to let her off the hook that easily.
Right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
But his brain is good. He's still great.
Well, here's what I said. Like when I came back after the strike in September, I said he should get out.
President Biden has repeatedly stated that no one is above the law, yet he granted pardon to his own son, revealing a stark double standard. Maher argued that this is exactly why so many Americans are disillusioned with the political system. If the rules only apply when convenient, they cease to be rules at all. Whoopi's defense faltered, unable to counter the glaring inconsistency.
What you guys in the liberal side of it don't get about Donald Trump is we don't like him either.
Yeah.
It's just that in this country, it's binary. I mean, gender may not be binary, but politics is. You only get two choices. And the stuff that they are afraid of, they see Donald Trump.
As the debate grew more intense, Maher shifted the focus to the media's role in shaping public perception. He criticized mainstream outlets for downplaying the Hunter Biden story before the election, accusing them of prioritizing narrative control over journalistic integrity instead of addressing the facts. When Maher laid out the evidence, Whoopi dismissed his argument as just another right-wing conspiracy theory.
Obama had her over at the White House, like in 2013, to hint, hey,
Hint.
spend more time with the grandkids. That would not be a good idea, Ruth. And she didn't take the hint, and she was not in good health, and she stayed too long, and she ruined her legacy and got the Supreme Court now to be a pretty right-wing organization. Said Biden shouldn't do that, but, ego, he's Dracula. He has crossed oceans of time to be here, and he's not going to.
Maher reminded Whoopi that even left-leaning journalists had acknowledged the Hunter Biden story was deliberately suppressed for political reasons. He argued that this, at its core, is the real danger of ideological bias. It's not about truth or justice, but about controlling the narrative. Once again, Whoopi had no solid rebuttal and instead chose to change the subject.
Closer to the home. It's like my kid is coming home from school and they're not allowed to tell me if they're transitioning. The school is going to take the side of the kid over the parent. Stuff like that. There is a lot of crazy stuff on the left. This book, there's stuff that each side is going to like and probably stuff they're not going to like so much in there.
The conversation then broadened as Maher criticized the progressive movement for fostering hostility toward differing opinions. He noted that working-class Americans, the very people progressives claim to represent, are rejecting the extreme narratives pushed by media elites. Rather than addressing this, Whoopi dismissed the concerns as right-wing rhetoric. Maher then pointed out how the Democratic Party's sharp leftward shift has alienated key voter demographics, including Black and Hispanic Americans. Polls show these communities tend to be more patriotic, supportive of law enforcement, and skeptical of unchecked illegal immigration. Yet Democrats continue prioritizing elite activists over the concerns of everyday people.
Woke is what was sort of ruining everything, and I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bashed. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country and I don't hate half the country.
How dare you disagree with me?
What's going to get him elected is this woke stuff that a lot of people in this country just don't go for.
Well, one thing that I break with is that you can disagree on candidates, but when one talks about literally upending the entire democracy, that's my heart out.
Absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservative. Women have this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place.
Too dark, too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. If I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching